Husker Harvest Days going on outside of Grand Island. Let's talk banking now with the chairman of the Nebraska Bankers Association. He is Jerry Catlett with the Bruning State Bank in Bruning, Nebraska. And Jerry, if you're here at Husker Harvest Days, that means a big focus, of course, is on agriculture and rural Nebraska, and so an opportunity for you to get to see kind of what's going on, and also maybe judge some attitudes of some folks here that are on the ground.
Yes, and it's a great opportunity to come out and see producers and vendors and equipment dealers and everybody else that sells things to agriculture. So it's a good way to gauge the mood. And I would guess to tell you how the lenders feel, we're pretty cautious about what 2016 is going to turn out to be. Of course, harvest is just starting to get underway, different facets of it as far as the silage and things like that. Seed corn production is starting now, but we'll start the dry land, things like that, and irrigate it here in a couple of weeks. So we're probably all thinking that hope yields are good because the prices are bad. But also I think everybody is cautious when it comes to where they're at with buying things. And I think that's okay. I know that's hard for the vendors and the equipment dealers to say, but we've got to find out where we're with profitability and how good a job people have done with marketing, because things, as you well know, from where we were a few years ago until now, the profitability has really gone in agriculture.
Well, with that being said, that really has an impact on Main Street businesses, those mom and pops and those other regional businesses, trying to make things through. Hopefully in those good times they saved up a little bit, but I would guess that Nebraska bankers have met, at least even anecdotally, of, hey, how we're going to work through this, because we are at a little different circumstances where maybe aren't quite as dire as we were some 30, 35 years ago, where a lot of folks were focusing on. But it's not without its challenges, because we have a new generation that hasn't experienced things like this.
Exactly. That's a great point, is that folks that started a few years ago in agriculture, like with the super cycle of 2012 with the drought and these high commodity prices, got into agriculture at a very good time. And maybe it's an oversimplification, but it was easy to make money. And now it's not easy to make money. And there's going to have to be a lot of adjustments that are made for the producers, for people on Main Street, for people in banks like myself. And I think that these challenges it's an opportunity for some people to learn and take advantage. Maybe it's time to expand for some people, but it's also a real challenge for those that may be a little bit leveraged or paid too much rent or whatever that scenario might be. So we're guarded about how we think this is going to turn out for a lot of people. And it could be difficult for some.
Is there a checklist or a handful of things that folks need to know when they go to talk to their bankers, or to go to plan ahead? Because there's all kinds of stories out there, but that's why I want to go directly to a banker to see how it really is from your end of this, the piece that banks play and other financial people in getting through this time that we're in.
And I think I go back to my experiences starting in the 80s. It's all about communications and acknowledgement that there are problems out there. And with that, we can get through a lot of things if people can come in and talk to us, if they know what the problem is before it becomes a crisis. That's a big thing. We'd like to have people come in and tell us there's a problem before we tell them there's a problem. And that seems to make sense, but a lot of people, there's fear, there's all those things that creep into your mind when you start seeing things going the wrong way. But there's a lot of expertise in our banks here in Nebraska to help people work through this. There's been a lot of people who have gone through it. There's a lot of people willing to learn as well too, both on the ag producer side, on the lender side. But that communication is getting in early. We've been out seeing people. We call them visitations, inspections, and we'll be doing those throughout harvest and going into the renewal season, just to kind of see how things are going. And it helps us gauge the management ability of our folks. And we're not out there to be ag producers. That's not what we do, but we can certainly make some suggestions when it comes to the structure of the balance sheet, about profitability, about the trends in your operation, things that you may be needing to look at to try to improve.
All right, anything else as far as we look at the overall picture of Nebraska banks, and we focus an awful lot on agriculture. Of course, that's still the driver of the economy, but as you look at the big picture of the whole state, still a somewhat diversified economy.
Yes, it is. We have, there's still a lot of things going on in Lincoln and Omaha that are very, very positive. when it comes to the housing sector is you drive through those communities and just see all the growth. And Lincoln, for example, there's a lot of good things happening there. And of course, Omaha is very diversified. So is Lincoln. Look at cities like Kearney seem to be doing well, and there is a dependence on agriculture, but it isn't dependent like some of the other small communities. They're so diverse in what they do. So not going to say that they're completely insulated. They're a little bit isolated from them, but not completely insulated. So.
Great. Well, Jerry, again, thanks for your service to the bankers and also the state of Nebraska, and good luck as we get through this time in agriculture right now.
Thank you. We're going to need it. So.
Jerry Catlett with the Bruning State Bank is also the current chairman of the Nebraska Bankers Association. He's joined us from Husker Harvest Days near Grand Island. For AgView, I'm Ken Rogers.